Somewhere in the Brazilian Cerrado, a hunter is starving. She hasn't eaten in 4 days. Her ribs are beginning to press against her golden red fur. And tonight, she's about to attempt something that almost never works. She's going to try to kill the most armored animal on the continent, a giant armadillo, an animal covered in plates so thick that jaguar claws slide right off them, an animal that can dig itself underground and vanish in less than 3 minutes. And she's going to try to take it down alone. No pack, no ambush partner, just patience, intelligence, and a hunger so deep it has made her reckless. This is a hunt that most predators would never even attempt. But tonight, this maned wolf has no other choice. Welcome to Wildlife Pulse. Before we witness what happens next, you need to understand something about the animal standing at the edge of this grassland. Because the maned wolf is one of the most misunderstood creatures on the planet. Look at her, and you might think she's a fox on stilts. Those impossibly long legs, that narrow, elegant face, the enormous ears that rotate like satellite dishes. She looks like evolution couldn't decide what to make her, so it made something entirely new. And that's actually closer to the truth than you might think. Despite her name, the maned wolf is not a wolf. She's not a fox either. She's not a dog. She belongs to her own genus, completely alone on her branch of the evolutionary tree. Chrysocion brachyurus, the only member of her kind on Earth. She has no close relatives, no cousins, no evolutionary siblings. In a world of pack hunters and social canids, she walks alone, always. And that solitary nature is about to become her greatest disadvantage. The Cerrado stretches around her in every direction. This is South America's vast tropical savanna, a landscape of tall golden grasses, scattered trees, and termite mounds that rise from the earth like ancient monuments. It looks peaceful, almost gentle. But the Cerrado is deceptive. It hides its cruelty in the spaces between the grass stems. Venomous snakes coil beneath fallen bark. Giant anteaters carve trenches through the soil with claws that can disembowel a jaguar. And somewhere out in this sea of grass, a giant armadillo is digging. She can hear it. Those enormous ears aren't just for show. They can detect the scraping of claws against packed earth from over 30 meters away. And right now, they're locked into a sound coming from just beyond a low ridge to the east. A rhythmic, heavy scratching, slow, deliberate, powerful. That sound is her target. Now, most people have never seen a giant armadillo. And there's a reason for that. These animals are among the rarest and most elusive creatures in South America. They're nocturnal. They spend up to 18 hours a day underground. They dig burrows so large that over 80 other species use their abandoned tunnels for shelter. Scientists have studied them for decades and still know remarkably little about their behavior. What we do know is this: a fully grown giant armadillo can weigh over 50 kilograms. That's more than this maned wolf weighs. Its body is covered in articulated bony plates that function like medieval armor. Its front claws are the largest of any living animal relative to body size. Each one is a curved, reinforced digging tool capable of tearing through compacted clay, root systems, and even termite mound walls that are hard enough to resist a sledgehammer. And when threatened, the giant armadillo has one response that makes it nearly impossible to kill. It digs, not slowly, not cautiously. It explodes into the earth with a violence that seems impossible for an animal its size. Soil flies in every direction. Within 60 seconds, its armored back is flush with the ground. Within 3 minutes, it has vanished entirely, as if it was never there. This is what the maned wolf is walking toward, and she knows it. She's hunted armadillos before, smaller ones, non-banded armadillos that she could flip with a quick swipe of her paw, exposing their soft underbelly before they could curl into a protective ball. Those hunts were quick, efficient, almost casual. But a giant armadillo is a completely different animal. The maned wolf cannot flip it. She cannot overpower it. She cannot outrun it into a corner because it doesn't run into corners. It runs into the earth itself. And once it's underground, the hunt is over. Every single time. So why is she even trying? Because 4 days without food in the Cerrado changes the mathematics of survival. The lobira fruit she normally relies on, the wolf apple that makes up nearly half her diet during good seasons, has not fruited this month. The small rodents she usually catches at dawn have become scarce. A recent grass fire swept through kilometers of her territory, driving prey animals into neighboring ranges already claimed by other maned wolves. She is running out of options, and a giant armadillo, despite its defenses, represents enough calories to sustain her for a week. If she can find a way past that armor, she moves toward the sound with a gait that looks almost mechanical. Those long legs carry her above the grass line, her head floating like a periscope above a golden ocean. Each step is measured, silent. She places her narrow paws with the precision of a surgeon, avoiding dry stems that might snap and announce her approach. The maned wolf is not built for explosive speed like a cheetah. She is not built for sustained endurance like an African wild dog. What she is built for is stealth and tall grass. Those legs elevate her eyes and ears above the vegetation while keeping her body weight distributed in a way that minimizes sound. She is, in this landscape, almost invisible. Almost. The armadillo is working a termite mound. She can see it now, a massive, dark shape hunched against the base of a clay structure, its enormous claws ripping channels into the mound's surface. Termites pour out in frantic waves, and the armadillo's long, sticky tongue sweeps through them with mechanical efficiency. It is completely focused on feeding. Its small eyes are nearly useless. Its hearing, while adequate, is partially masked by the sound of its own digging. But here is what makes this moment so critical. Right now, the armadillo is exposed. It is above ground, distracted, and positioned against the mound in a way that limits its escape angles. If it senses danger, it will either curl against the mound or begin digging. Both responses take time. Not much time, but perhaps enough. The maned wolf lowers herself into the grass. Her belly nearly touches the ground. The black mane along her spine rises involuntarily. Adrenaline is flooding her system. Every muscle is taut. She is 50 meters away, then 40, then 30, and this is where patience becomes everything. Most canid predators would charge at this distance. The instinct to sprint, to close the gap before the prey reacts, is hardwired into almost every hunter in the dog family. But the maned wolf suppresses that instinct because she has learned through failed hunts and empty nights that a charge from 30 meters gives the armadillo 6 full seconds to react. 6 seconds is an eternity for an animal that can bury itself alive. She needs to be closer, much closer, 20 meters. She freezes as the armadillo pauses its digging. Its head lifts slightly, those small ears rotate. For 12 agonizing seconds, neither animal moves. The grassland holds its breath. Then the armadillo returns to the termite mound, and the maned wolf takes 3 more silent steps, 15 meters. What happens next will be decided by centimeters and fractions of seconds. The maned wolf knows, on some instinctive level, that she needs the armadillo to shift its position. Right now, its armored back faces her. The plates along its spine and flanks are virtually impenetrable to her jaws. She needs it to turn, to lift itself, to create even a momentary gap between the edge of its armor and the soft tissue beneath. And so she waits. Minutes pass. The armadillo continues feeding, occasionally repositioning itself around the base of the termite mound. The maned wolf does not move. Her breathing is shallow. Her eyes do not blink. She has become part of the landscape. Then, the armadillo does something unexpected. It rocks back on its hind legs and tail, lifting its front claws to attack a higher section of the mound. For just a moment, its underside is partially visible. The softer, less protected skin of its lower belly and throat. The maned wolf launches. There is no gradual acceleration. From a frozen crouch to a full sprint in less than a second. The grass parts around her like water. 15 meters vanishes in a heartbeat. The armadillo reacts instantly, dropping to all fours and beginning to dig. But it is a fraction of a second too late. The maned wolf reaches the armadillo just as its front claws bite into the soil. Her jaws close not on the armored back, but on the narrow gap where the armor plates meet the softer skin just behind the front leg. The armadillo thrashes with terrifying strength. Its claws, designed to tear through hardened clay, rake the air dangerously close to the maned wolf's face. One direct strike from those claws could blind her, could tear open her shoulder, could end not just this hunt but her life. She adjusts her grip, pulling backward, using her body weight to prevent the armadillo from gaining purchase in the soil. If it gets even halfway into the ground, its armored back will seal the burrow entrance, and she will have nothing. For 40 brutal seconds, the two animals struggle in a cloud of dust and torn grass. The maned wolf's jaws are not powerful by predator standards. She does not have the crushing bite force of a hyena or the suffocating grip of a leopard. What she has is persistence and desperation. She shifts her bite forward toward the throat. The armadillo's movements slow, then weaken, then stop. The Cerrado goes quiet. The maned wolf stands over her kill, panting, trembling, her golden fur matted with dust and sweat. She has done something remarkable, something that researchers who study these animals say happens so rarely that it has almost never been documented. A solitary maned wolf, an animal built for catching mice and eating fruit, has taken down a giant armadillo through nothing but patience, timing, and the refusal to die hungry. She will feed tonight and for several nights after. But here is the part of this story that most people never consider. That armadillo's burrow, the one it was about to dig, will never be completed. And the 80 species that might have used it for shelter, the burrowing owls, the lesser anteaters, the lizards and snakes and beetles, will need to find refuge somewhere else. One hunt, one death, and the ripple moves outward through the ecosystem in ways we are only beginning to understand. In the Cerrado, nothing exists in isolation. Every hunt is a transaction, every death is a redistribution, and every animal, from the tallest maned wolf to the smallest termite, is connected by invisible threads that hold this ancient landscape together. The maned wolf finishes feeding just before dawn. She rises, licks the dust from her muzzle, and walks east into the rising light. Those long legs carry her above the grass. Those enormous ears scan the horizon. She is alone again, as she has always been, as she will always be. But tonight she survived. And in the Cerrado, that is